out in the pasture, this is how we keep the animals watered. The tall buckets will get tipped over. These ones, as long as the ducks aren't in the pasture, these were good. If the ducks are on the pasture, nothing works because the ducks will bathe in them. But this is the water. When I first put them out to pasture, I put them on a rope that has PVC on the end, right up within about 4 inches of their collar when I attach it. So this end goes up next to their collar, right there. And what happens is it teaches them to walk over the rope. Otherwise the rope will tangle around their legs and I'll have to come out every 5 minutes and unwind them, which is bad because it causes circulation problems in the animal and it can cause permanent damage. So we were having problems with this when we first started tethering them. So this is what I invented, is you put PVC and then you put a big knot down there at the bottom so it can't travel. And we have got boulders in our ground, just huge rocks that are packed in together, like this. That's what underneath all this grass. The reason it looks so nice out here is because of my chop and drop. This whole place was covered in rocks like this. So what I did is, in the worst places, I went out and just was continually cutting right on top of the rocks. So what it did is it actually formed a mulch layer on top of the rocks, then becomes a dirt layer that then becomes vegetation. So rather than pulling rocks out of your field or out of your garden, instead drop mulch on top of it, and then as it degrades it just becomes dirt. These are what we use to tie them out with. They're super strong. Most of my animals don't reach 200 pounds, but these are meant for a 200-pound dog. And they pivot, and you can put them in with I use an axe or a mallet to pound them in. They're about 1.5 feet long. The spike that goes in the ground, I think they're $5, and they are worth their weight in gold. I absolutely love them. They're hard to find when the hay is really tall. So first off, I sprayed them, but then I started just attaching permanent ropes to them. And that way I could just clip the animals on quickly rather than having to tie and untie ropes. And I use twine, and I just braid it from hay. So I save all my twine, and I braid it, because ropes can get expensive, and they break every couple of years from being out in the UV. So I just braid ropes out of twine and save some money that way. So that is our grazing situation. Our animals look super happy. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grazers right now. And this back here is just a small bit. Our whole acreage is 1 acre and 2/3. It looks a lot bigger than that. We think they actually got it wrong because it looks so much bigger than that. And then we have all the property in front that we're rehabilitating. So the property in front actually looks like this here, except really, really dry. And we've already had the animals and mulch on it, and it came back really well this year. Again, I'm talking about what's in front. And so every year that we do that we can do the chop and drop, that we leave mulch on it, the longer we have to use it as a dry farm up in the front because we can't get water to it. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have its purposes. In the spring, it works really well. Paige, you cannot get it from back here because this is irrigated. You have to get it from the front yard.
Well, there's some more flowers.
It's okay.
There.
Put them down. You can't feed it from the backyard to the bunnies. You need to obey the first time, please. Okay. So in the front, it's dry land, or dry farming, which means that I was able to graze the animals up there until almost the end of, I think it was the end of June, was when I brought them up here. And there was still grass up there up to their shoulders. And the reason it looks bad now is just because the blades of grass have actually dried. It's not that they're dead, it's just that they've reached the end of their harvest period. Here's our wood pile and our gift tractor from Grandpa. We were doing everything by hand until this summer, and my husband's grandpa decided he was done with farming, so he gave us this little tractor that still runs. So instead of hauling with the wheelbarrow, now we have our terrible tractor skills that we're trying to learn. So anyway, each little piece of ground still has its use, even if it's not beautiful. Our big project this year, my huge goal overall, is to make the front beautiful. It's our worst spot, hardest to get water to, the most destroyed by overgrazing before we moved here. So everything I'm working on the hardest is in the front, but it's the part that doesn't want to live. So that's my goal, to have it be beautiful in the front so that people want to learn how to do this, and if it's not pretty, they don't care. They just think you're white trash. So got to make it be beautiful.